Pinterest, Canva, and Trello are 3 tools that has helped me unfuck my casual creativity. As someone who's a casual creative, meaning I don't take on the title in my 9-to-5 job as a creative director or graphic designer, and does it more on the side within my own hobby time limit. I need tools that are easy to understand, easy to use, don't have a million different settings, and has a complex interface, and are fun to use. So let's start with the first point in the creative process, gaining inspiration. I love Pinterest, but Pinterest has changed a lot over the past few years. It used to be a very simple, easy to use search engine. You would type a keyword in, whatever you would want to see, and you would get a bunch of images reflecting that. Now, just like any other platform, Pinterest is more of a discovery-based platform where the algorithm learns what you want to look at based on the user's interaction. That means clicks, saves, and watch. There are videos on Pinterest. The way I have built up my home feed has not only been through the scrolling process, which takes a long time and you may be impatient, but I also use the search. You have to be very strategic about the search. The way I have found that I find inspiration is through fashion brand campaigns, advertisements. I've typed in art installations and Japanese graphic design. Those 4 searches have built up my home feed. The reason why I go for terms like art installation or Japanese graphic design is because they usually have bold, unique styles. I found that non-Western design tends to be more experimental and visually exciting. The other source of inspiration, clothing brands. Fashion brands tend to push the creative boundaries on layouts, typography, and overall visual storytelling. There's a lot to learn from their campaigns and advertisements. So once I find a picture or video on Pinterest, I'll save it to one of my boards. And I make my creative boards, so my boards for YouTube and my job, I make them private. I don't want anyone else to see them. They're just for me to store my inspiration in a specific place. And the way I organize my boards, or I title them, I have boards titled after videos that I'm planning to make, and I'm collecting images as I go to build the images that I'm going to use in my future videos as like examples of different shelving units or lighting. I did a video on lighting. I had a board for that, all the different lights that I found. I also have 2 different boards for thumbnails. One board is dedicated to images I'm going to maybe use or am thinking of using in my thumbnails. As you noticed, this thumbnail, it doesn't have images that is often seen on YouTube. That's because it's pulled from Pinterest. Another board is dedicated to ideas, sparks of inspiration for thumbnail design. So they're not really going to incorporate the images that I saved, but the visual itself, maybe I want to reflect that into a thumbnail. Pinterest has a lot of different image styles that you can find yourself looking at, and it gives you a wider variety in what is possible. You know, I want my thumbnails to be unique to me and stylish. Current YouTube thumbnails don't hit those marks. So That's how I get inspiration from Pinterest. Now that we have our inspiration and possible images that we want to use in our project, what's it going to look like? Are we working on a YouTube thumbnail, a poster, a flyer, sticker? Next up is Canva. I've tried using Photoshop before. It's just too difficult. So I've stuck with Canva. You can actually do a lot with Canva. I've made all my thumbnails since the very beginning. I started this channel on Canva. But now with the pro version, I do pay monthly for this. I get access to all of the pictures and designs. There's no limit with what you are able to use. The 3 tools that I tend to gravitate towards when creating different visuals for my projects are the background remover, magic eraser, and the magic wrap. Those 3 tools can help you remix different images that you find on Pinterest and make them your own. It's how I've made this image into this thumbnail. There were people in the image. I used the magic eraser, erased her out of it, and put my own text there. There was writing at the top, magic erased that, and put my own words there. The one tool that is in beta, but is like, I hope they get this right because it could be very, very, very helpful, is the blend tool. And so when you select more than one image on your design, then you click the edit, blend will pop up and it blends the 2 images together. So if you have a table and a mug, 2 separate pictures, and you click them and you press blend, it's supposed to put the mug on the table. You're supposed to align it where you want it as well, so make sure you do that. But I've tried it multiple times with different subjects. It just doesn't work properly, so don't use that. It's not helpful as of now. I've started playing with the animation tool, specifically the custom animation where you can set a path of movement for a specific object in your design. I used it in this video, as you notice, for the animations of the mouse clicking the folder and then what we're talking about pops up. That's all using Canva and the animation tool. There's a lot of different ways I think we can use that, and I want to play around a little more with it. So you may be seeing a little more animations within my videos in the future. Usually you're going to stop there. Once you make the visual for your project, you have nothing else to do. But as creatives, we sometimes need structure. A lot of people use Trello for project management. They use it kind of like a timeline, and this is how I was introduced to Trello.
And today I'll be showing you how you can be utilizing Trello as your productivity dashboard to ensure you are keeping track of all the most important work all in one place. Now, if you're like me, perhaps you've tried bookmarking everything. And maybe that seemed like a good idea at first, but then that quickly got out of control. Or perhaps you have one tab open right now, and maybe at some point that becomes 3 or 5 or 10, or maybe too many that you've just lost count of all the things that you were trying to track. Trello gives you a one-stop shop of a productivity dashboard that allows you to keep track at a bird's eye view of all the things that are going across the business.
The reason why I like Trello is that it allows you to visually have control over what your organization looks like. And that's fun in itself. You can add images, you can change colors, you can pay money for more features, but the free version is, I think, just enough. I mean, take this example with a grain of salt. and as inspiration for your use of Trello, because this just shows you can use this tool in a variety of different ways, and maybe in ways we haven't thought of before. I've used Trello to create an entire onboarding system for the salon I work at. Since I've started there, there's been no structured trainings, no structured onboarding system, and that's fine. A lot of businesses after COVID kind of fell through with the structure, and as time went on, have gotten a little loosey-goosey. So we're trying to rebuild that structure within the company. The way I organize this is by utilizing the columns to represent a different day in the onboarding process. And each card within the columns contains a specific topic with attached documents and videos explaining everything they need to know. This is where Canva and Pinterest come back into play. I create all of my onboarding documents within Canva. And to even go a little step further, I use ChatGPT to help me create documents or a draft of documents for the onboarding process. And then once I find a draft that I like, I'll copy that, paste it into a document in Canva, and then make it format it a specific way, save that, and put that document into Trello, into whatever specific card that document is needed. And then I use Pinterest to find images to use as cover pictures for each card. It just keeps things visually interesting, and it just helps new hires quickly understand each topic instead of having just a huge document of written word. Just like imagine if YouTube was no thumbnails, just titles, and you had to choose a video to watch based on the title. How boring. The image thumbnail helps the viewer become more interested in what they're about to get into. That's the same process with this. You want the new hire to be excited to learn more about working within your company. So that's why I find the cover images to be very helpful. So that's it. Those are the 3 tools I've been using every day for all of my projects. They're simple, easy to use, and fun to use.
Something about a woman.